The hate army troll.
It's the hate army, bro.
The hate army, that guy.
Hate army.
Hate army general. Good vibes to the hate army.
Shout out to hate.
Shout out for hate. Shout out for hate.
What's up, everyone? On today's show, we're going to talk all about yesterday's big release of the first DLC character in Street Fighter 6, Rashid, and my unprecedented great first run with the character. In addition, there'll be a major follow-up to the LTG situation. Yes, it's true. Even more has happened since yesterday. So all this and more on today's podcast. Alrighty, everyone. So, welcome to the show. How is everyone today? I hope you're doing well. If you can't notice, it's been a very busy 24 hours for me here on DSP Gaming. First of all, I don't know if you've noticed, but based on the feedback that I received yesterday on the podcast, I've been working on my sexy. Alright? So I switched up shirts, so now I'm wearing a nice tight pop culture reference shirt to be at the height of fashion, and also I'm wearing a piece of jewelry, a necklace, on the outside of my shirt to try to look nice and sexy for you on the stream today. Now, the problem is, sadly, I'm poverty status, all right? So because I'm poverty status streaming, I couldn't afford to get a real piece of jewelry, so I just grabbed whatever was hanging around in my office here, and I just tossed it on. But at least now, my looks must be improving, and they must be getting up to standard of what's expected of a professional level streamer who would be spoken to by another streamer, correct? Anyway, and yes, I am going to further respond to the whole LTG situation because it has progressed further. So I have more to say. If it didn't progress further, I would have ignored it, but there are updates that we will cover, all right? Oh, the Walmart NPC in chat is telling me that I'm looking sexy today. Not sexy, sexy. There you go. Thank you. I tried to look as crispy as possible. I don't know if you do look. The hairline, the jawline. I got my jewelry on the outside of my branded pop culture shirt. I'm trying to look nice and crispy for you. Time for me now to get to the topic many of you are here for, Low Tier GaaaaAAAWD. Okay? To give you a very brief summary of where we are up to now. 2 days ago, I stumbled upon a Low Tier GaaaaAAAWD video on YouTube. It was a 1-hour compilation from his stream. It was the first time I had ever watched anything like that. After watching the hour, I had some questions. Now, I didn't necessarily slam the guy or say anything too wild or inflammatory at all. In fact, I agreed with most of his opinions on Street Fighter 6 that he said in the video, but I had some very factual questions that I was interested in having answers to. For example, why does he quit to dashboard in the middle of fighting the game if he's getting hit by a super? I don't understand that because it doesn't do anything. It's that he's not rage quitting, it doesn't affect the match. I don't get it. Why does he block every player? Even if he beats them, he blocks players and blacklists them. I don't understand that. Why is his stream layout so cluttered? I don't like it. I think it's ugly. Why does he find benefit in having a stream chat that literally just sits there and makes fun of him when he's playing the game, but he doesn't seem to realize it? Okay? Why does he have over 2,000 viewers every time he plays this game on Twitch, supposedly, but no one was contributing during his live streams? At least for the hour I saw, there was like no contributions. I'm like, what's the point of having 2,000 viewers if everyone is there supposedly just to make fun of you? That's kind of a sad situation. So these were not me trying to slam the guy. Understand, this was like fact hunting, all right? I was just curious about answers, legit answers to the questions, right? I wasn't trying to insult him at all. I was just kind of fascinated by what I observed, and I just was looking for some answers, so I talked about it on my podcast 2 days ago, okay? And fair enough, even my haters who like clip shit out of my podcast or whatever didn't really negatively spin it in a way that was unfair. They kind of said, here's what Phil said. It's kind of, tame. Curious what'll happen, right? But what's funny about it is, it seems like everyone kind of knew how LTG was going to react, despite the fact that I didn't insult him. I said nothing negative about the guy. They apparently knew how he is, okay? So, a night and a half ago, on his late night stream, LTG starts exploding and insulting me like a crazy assault of insults about my personal appearance, okay, my voice, how it sounds, the quality of my stream visually. He insulted my camera. He insulted my background, right? Then he very oddly, in a very weird way, brought up the fact that I turned down a podcast for Keemstar for $50,000. He mentions it like 6 times in his unhinged 10-minute rant about me. And it's so bizarre because it has absolutely nothing to do with the topic at hand, but he keeps mentioning it, okay? He says things that I need to work on my sexy. Yes, he actually says another man should work on his sexy on his stream. This is what he's saying. I'm not putting words in his mouth. He literally said that, okay? If you want to see the whole thing, check it out. I literally did a live react to it yesterday on this very show. That was the majority of the podcast yesterday, okay? So after live reacting to it, I was pretty confused. I was like, so let me get this straight. He never watched my podcast. He doesn't even know what I said about his stream. He literally took it upon himself that just because he heard DSP said something about LTG, that he would go on a 10-minute insult-laden rant against me for no fucking good reason at all, and think that that was okay. That I was going to be happy about that. That I was just going to accept it, and I was just supposed to lay back and take it because he can do whatever he wants, right? So after reacting to that yesterday and telling a lot of very telling things, I think, about him, I think he needs to see a psychiatrist, quite frankly, with some of the stuff he was saying there. Basically, I laid it down. I said, listen, I don't know what he thinks because he says there's some narrative. Someone's pushing a narrative, supposedly. I don't know what this narrative is, all right? For some reason, he thinks I'm clout chasing him. I'm not clout chasing the man. I literally watched an hour video about his content. I had just questions about it that were very tame questions. I don't know where the clout chasing was there. I had already established the fact that this guy was probably never going to want to do any kind of matches or anything against me. This is all established. So where he seems like he has this weird, like, complex in his head about me that he can't get over. And so you're pushing a narrative. What narrative? There's no narrative at all. You made up the narrative in your fucking head, or other people are bullshitting you, telling you there's a narrative when there's no narrative. I don't even know what because again, he never actually explains it. He just keeps saying that over and over, right? It's very confusing. Okay? So, anyway, after having reacted to all that yesterday, I laid down the law. I said, it's this simple. You're going to fucking talk about me for 10, 15 minutes. You're going to insult me constantly. All stuff that literally has nothing to do with anything I said about you. That's fucked up. So, the only content that we could ever do together that would be beneficial would be to do a grudge match of Street Fighter 6. And I think that we should do it because I think that it's going to be something that our fans want to see, our viewers want to see. I say fans and viewers because they're kind of different. Sometimes you have a fan base, but you also have a hater base, right? Like, I think our haters would equally like to see us face off at Street Fighter 6 as much as our fans. And it would be hype, and everyone would want to see it, right? I even proposed, let's make this big business. Let's get this so hype. Let's do it during EVO. While EVO is going on and they're doing their qualifying rounds of bullshit, instead of watching the paint dry, people could jump over to our streams and watch us fight. And people would be hyped. I said, how much you want to bet if we did this during EVO? People at fucking EVO would say, fuck EVO. I'm going to watch this shit on my phone right now. Everyone's going to be sitting there watching it on their phones because they want to see it because it's so hype, right? So I made this proposition. Let's do it. And the thing is, during his 10-minute unhinged rant, he basically said, well, the only way I would ever do anything with Darkside Phil is if I got paid $5,000. So I even said this. Get that from your viewers because you have supportive viewers. Are you not aware of that? I mean, the guy has 3,000 paid subs on Twitch. He's making bank every month on Twitch just by streaming. So if that's the case, I'm pretty sure your viewers would love to see you do a grudge match and they would support it. If they like you so much, why wouldn't they support you? So let them support you. Let them give you $5,000 to do this grudge match. And let's fucking trump EVO. Seriously, let's just trump that shit. Let's actually get more attendance and more interest on our stream than the EVO stream. All right? So that's where we left it yesterday. And I even said, I'm done talking about it now. Unless there's more developments, I'm not going to be talking about this topic again because there's no point. If he just ignores it and I ignore it, then it's dead. But, unless there's developments. If there's developments, I'll talk about them again. Well, there's developments, okay? There's actually 2 developments that have happened, okay? So let's talk about those developments this morning. Development number 1. I was contacted by someone, and I am fascinated by the information that was presented to me. Now, keep in mind, this is just information that was presented to me. I really don't have any way to vet or confirm this information. All right? But I received an email from someone, and I'm going to read it word for word. I'm not even going to spin it in a way. I'm literally going to read the email word for word for you guys. You ready? Why LTG is bitter about the 50K. Wings was once asked if LTG should replace you on the podcast. Wings stated that he suggested being a good replacement, but Keemstar rejected it, saying LTG wouldn't work. Word for word from the email that I received. So, for background of this, because if you're wondering, what is this podcast? Why the hell is LTG talking about a $50,000 podcast? So, apparently last year, Keemstar wanted to do a podcast with me, Boogie, and Wings of Redemption. He was going to call it the Lol Cow Cast, all right? He was going to pay us each $50,000 to do it, and then we were going to own a portion of the podcast, so if it became profitable, we were going to make money ongoing from this. However, Keemstar failed to be professional, failed to contact me in any kind of a human way, because he's a fucking idiot. He thinks that everything revolves around him. So my whole life schedule and my business and everything should be dropped just to talk to this man, who I really want no association with whatsoever. I think he's a fucking clown. He's a degenerate. I hate the content he puts out. I would never want to be associated with him. So basically, it never happened, okay? So then what happened was Keemstar wouldn't let it go. He kept talking about it publicly. He lied. Earlier this year, he lied, saying that I still have a chance to be on the show. I was like, dude, I don't want to be on your fucking show. I've said it a million times. Doesn't matter how many times you say it. Then he lied and said things like he was going to get someone else to do it. Guess what? Guess what, guys? It's July 2023. There's still no podcast, okay? So if anything, what this shows is that he had an idea. Without me, the idea won't work. And so it's never going to happen. Okay? If it does happen, great. More power to them. I told them, do the pod. Why is it months and months later and the podcast still didn't happen? Because they needed me for it. All right? They know that. They know I was the thing that was hinging the whole fucking thing and gluing it together. And without me, they have no show. So, anyway, what ended up happening was for a short period of time, Keemstar was talking online saying, who do you guys think should be the replacement for DSP on the podcast? And a lot of names came up, like Review Tech USA and stuff. And I guess LTG was one. And from what I'm being told here, you know, Wings was basically sold that LTG would work, and he talked to Keemstar, and Keemstar said, no, LTG would not work for this show, all right? So why is LTG angry about the 50K? Because he didn't get it. He didn't get offered it, right? So he's mad. He's mad salty because he wanted that bag. He wanted that payday, and he's not offered the payday because no one wants him on the podcast. You know, again, if you're looking at value added and whatever, people are looking at it and saying that wouldn't add the value to the podcast. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing there. Is there an association between me and LTG? Well, we're both fighting game players. I'm a washed up one, right? He's kind of like, he was at one point kind of competitive. He's not anymore, right? But now he's prominent online. I used to be in the tournament scene. I'm not anymore. I'm washed up. But at least we have association. You understand? Like, we do. We have the fighting game thing is our association, right? What relation does LTG have to Wings of Redemption or Boogie? Zero. Like, literally zero. He wouldn't be able to relate. That show wouldn't work. I agree. If you ask my opinion, it wouldn't work on that show. It would be like worlds colliding and making no sense. It's like, you know, trying to mix I don't know, you know, peanut butter with olive oil or something. You know, it's like, yuck. It's going to be a messy, it's not going to mix. It's going to be disgusting, right? You don't want that. So, you know, I get it. But I think he's pissed. I think he's actually pissed off because he wanted that money. So he's holding it against me that I didn't take the money, but then he couldn't take the spot that I didn't take, right? He's mad about that. Why are you mad at me? Why are you projecting that onto me? Be mad at yourself that no one wants you on the show. Not me. I'm not the reason you're not on the show. How about this? Wings, Boogie, Keemstar, put LTG on the podcast. Make the podcast together. Give the man $50,000 and allow him to be on the show. Do it. There. I want it. Give you the blessing. Take the money. But don't fucking project it on me. I have nothing to do with that. Why are you mad at me? Why are you salty at me because I turned it down because I want nothing to do with Keemstar? Like, what are you, out of your mind? That's fucking stupid. You say, you call me dumb. No, I'm not dumb because I don't want to be roped into something for the rest of my fucking life. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be roped into something forever. I don't. So, forget that shit. I have the ability to pass up on an offer. So do you, right? You're apparently passing up on any offers about doing stuff with me, so I have the ability to pass up on an offer for Keemstar. There's no criticism there. You have no right to criticize me for saying that I don't want to do something I didn't want to do, and you have no right to project that on me because you're salty because you want the money, okay? Now, in addition to that, there's another big follow-up, ladies and gentlemen, all right? And this is really the reason why I'm talking about this today, not the email, because the email is just speculation, right? So, after my podcast yesterday, all right. Obviously, all the haters clipped it. It was all over the internet. Tens of thousands of views everywhere, right? And, of course, here's the thing. I would say, oh, LTG got wind of it and watched it, and then he responded. No. Do you want to know what happened? You ready for this? Here's what actually happened. You ready for this? LTG DM'd me on Xer. Not Twitter anymore. It's Xer or X. He DM'd me on the X app. Okay? Would you like to know what he said? Sure. I'm going to show you what he said right now. I'm going to show it to you word for fucking word. All right? This is what he sent me yesterday. Okay? Keep in mind, I've not DM'd this guy since June when Street Fighter 6 came out, and I said, hey, just so you know, I'm always open to a match if you ever want to do one, even though I know you're probably not interested. It was a very friendly DM that I sent him in like mid-June. Okay? So I haven't talked to this guy in a month and a half. This is what he sends me yesterday on X. Stop clout chasing, bro. If you want to play me. If you want to play me in anything. So I guess it's a grammar error. If you want to play me in anything, it's going to cost you $5K. But what about the 5 bands? I'm curious. I thought he wanted 5 bands. This pisses me off because I was actually contacting local bands here in Seattle that I was going to send to him to perform. But now he wants 5K, not 5 bands. So that's a little upsetting because I did all that extra work by accident. This is sad AF. Stop mentioning me and upgrade your streams. Godspeed. Okay? So, here's the thing. Read that again. Stop clout chasing, bro. Clout chasing. Let's analyze this message. Okay? Let's actually tear it apart. Clout chasing. LTG actually thinks I'm clout chasing him. LTG actually in his own mind thinks that there's clout associated with him to chase. He is living in a parallel universe. He actually thinks people care about him and that associating with him is somehow clout worthy. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He really has absolutely no concept of reality. He thinks in his head that because he has a crispy hairline and a peanut butter complexion and he works out every day and he has a deep voice and he has the godlike setup and he has the HD camera that he has clout. He has no clout at all. Zero. He doesn't even have enough clout to be offered to be on the Lol Cow podcast. But he thinks I'm clout chasing him. I made a small segment on my podcast commentating about a stream of his that I watched an hour snippet of. And all I had was a few common, tame, unwild questions about it. And he thinks that's clout chasing him. Okay? Interesting. Let's continue. If you want to play me in anything, well, I'd like to play you in Street Fighter. I want to play you. But if you want to play me in anything, it's going to cost $5K. Okay? Let's analyze this portion of the DM. Okay? It's going to cost $5,000. Okay? LTG, I have something very important I need to tell you now. I hope people will clip this portion of the stream. Please do. And make sure he sees it. LTG, Mr. Low Tier God. I have something I need to tell you. It's very important. Okay? Please listen. There's absolutely nothing in this realm of existence, this plane of existence, this dimension of the multiverse, this planet, this country, the state you live in, the city you live in, the town you live in the home you live in, on the stream you stream. There is nothing at all that someone would ever pay you $5,000 for. At all. There's not $5,000 of value that you could provide. Do you understand? No one will ever pay you that much money for anything in your life. So it's time to give up on that. I don't know why you think that someone's going to pay you $5,000 to do a match or to be on a stream. No one's ever going to do that for you, okay? It's never going to happen. No one's going to pay you $50,000 to be on the Lao Cow cast. No one's going to pay you $5,000 for a Street Fighter grudge match. You don't have that value. Do you understand? You get it? I hope this is like a big smack to the face, and maybe you can wake up now and realize your true value. You have value to an audience on the internet, but it's not a $5,000 payday. That's absolutely ludicrous to ask for that from anyone. No one would pay you that much money for anything you would ever, any service you would provide on this planet. No one would pay you that much money. It's time to have more realistic expectations. You ever watch the old skit on SNL? It was called Lowered Expectations, and it was a running joke where people would be like, well, I guess I got to settle if I want to find a partner because, you know, I'm never going to find anyone who's like perfect. It's time to lower your expectations, all right? If you really want something, be more reasonable. 5K is never going to happen because no one values you that much. Do you understand that? This is not me insulting you. I swear to God, I'm not trying to insult you. I'm trying to give you reality here. No one likes you enough that they're going to pay you $5,000 for anything. Period. Okay, let's continue. This is sad as fuck. For you it is, because you literally didn't even see what I said on my show, but you still slammed me for 10 minutes, completely unrelated to anything that I said. Stop mentioning me and upgrade your streams. Now, this is great. Once again, I said I would not mention the guy again if nothing came of it. But you contacted me with a really stupid DM, all right? And he said, upgrade your streams, okay? We already went through this yesterday. My streams look better than LTG's. My streams are clean. They don't have a bunch of clutter on the screen. My camera quality is better than his. My backgrounds are better than his. My entire setup's better than his. He doesn't get that because he hasn't seen my streams in like a year. So he's thinking back to the old setup. He's not looking at the new stuff. You know what I mean? So, what are you talking about? Seriously, what on earth are you talking about? You're talking literally out of your ass. So this is hilarious. Here's the ending. Godspeed. And with lickety-split Godspeed, LTG proceeded to ban me and block me on the X app so I can't actually respond. Because the truth is, I would have just responded directly to him and not shown you this today. I would have actually just, let's have a gentleman's conversation and talk about it. But instead, he blocked me. So why would you send me this and say, hey, for $5,000, I'll be in your content, but then block me so there's no way that I could actually respond and say anything about it? What if I actually was going to say, okay, yeah, all right, $5,000, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. Let's have you in my content, right? So he just blocks. So now the only venue that I have to talk to this man is this right now, publicly speaking to you on a stream that will now end up being clipped and restreamed and made into a joke because you shut off the opportunity for reasonable conversation because you're a fucking idiot. Okay? So now it's time to get a little real. All right? All right? Let's get a little real now. All right? LTG, you fucked up. All right? I was being very reasonable. I was being very nice to you. I had calm, very commonplace, non-accusatory, non-criticizing questions about your content. All right? That's all it was. I had no problem with you at all. And you took it upon it yourself to do a 10-minute rant about my personal appearance, about the quality of my streams, about a million things about me that were all unqualified, including continuously bringing up a 50K podcast, which obviously you're incredibly jealous you're never going to get offered. You fucked up because you took the first step towards a public feud. Now, I don't like feuds. I don't want to be involved in a fucking public feud at all. I don't want to go back and forth with you endlessly because that's a waste of everyone's fucking time. The only reason that I would ever involve myself in something like this is because I feel like we can get something out of it. All right? So, I have some recommendations for you. All right? I want you to reassess your own streams. Since you're going to give it to me, allow me to give a little bit back to you. All right? You know how when you're criticizing yourself and you're praising yourself and you say, I don't want to talk to anyone. All right? Because I don't want to talk to you if you don't go to the gym every day. I don't want to talk to you if you got a high-pitched voice. I don't want to talk to you. If you're going to criticize people, all right, at least use proper like descriptive adjectives, use proper vocabulary. For example, I kept something was nagging me yesterday after I watched your video. All right, your 10-minute rant against my looks. Something just kept nagging me badly, and it was just the references you were making. Peanut butter complexion. You actually kept saying peanut butter complexion against yourself like it's something positive. Okay? Do you know what peanut butter is? You understand what it is? It's fat, it's oils, it's grease, and it's all smashed together into this ooey, sticky paste. You ever actually touch peanut butter? You know what it feels like? It's gross. It's disgusting. You get it on, you're like, oh, it's stuck on my hands. I gotta go wash my hands. I can't get it off. There's peanut butter all over me. It gets stuck to the roof of your fucking mouth when you eat peanut butter. It tastes good, but it's actually gross. It's like I said, when you say peanut butter complexion to me, right? I think you're taking peanut butter, like chunky Peter Pan or Jif peanut butter, and you're like spreading it on your face, and you got these big lumps of peanuts stuck all over your head, and it looks like you're covered in fucking giant zits, big infected zits ready to pop. When you say peanut butter complexion, it makes you think your skin is gross. That's the worst adjective you could use. Stop using it. Say, I have a clean complexion. I have a nice smooth complexion, acne free. Then I would understand what you're saying. If you're saying peanut butter, no one knows what the fuck you're talking about. You sound like an asshole, okay? Let's do something else. You know something you kept saying that really drove me nuts? A nice, crispy hairline. Nice, solid, crispy jawline. He loves the word crispy, okay? Now, when he's saying that, what he's meaning is my hairline is neat, symmetrical. Look at my face. My face is like proper, like if you know geometrically proper. My hairline is good. He kept bringing up my hairline, how my hairline's fucked up right here. See how fucked up this is? Yeah, he keeps bringing that up. But he's like the crispy hair, crispy, okay? Crispy. Do you know what the word crispy even means? Okay? Crispy is referring to something that has been cooked or scorched to the point that when you touch it or you bite into it, it makes a crackling or crisping sound or sensation. That's what the word crispy means, all right? The word you're looking for is crisp. A crisp hairline, a smooth and equal hairline, a crisp jawline, not crispy. The only way that your appearance is crispy is if you're dumping your fucking head in a deep fryer every morning before you go to stream. So what the fuck are you talking about? You're not crispy, dumbass. You're crisp. Use the right fucking words. You sound like an idiot every time you open your fucking mouth and you say something dumb like this. Fucking grow up and use an iota of the I know you're intelligent. I know you're an intelligent dude. But you say the dumbest shit and you're trying to use it as an insult against someone. Say the right fucking words, you moron. Like, seriously. Shut the fuck up about other people's appearance if you can't even describe your own in a way that makes any kind of fucking logical sense to the audience you're talking to. 90% of the people listening to you are laughing at you because they don't know what the fuck you're saying. 5 bands, crispy, what the fuck? Get a fucking dictionary. Get a thesaurus. Jesus. So, now that that's been, I got that out of my way. Let me get this fucking stupid fucking thing off. Okay? Now, I'd like to finish this in a way that it's going to kind of be productive rather than destructive. All right? You fucked up. You insulted me for absolutely no reason. You didn't have to, but you just thought, oh, it's free reign for me to just say and do whatever the fuck I want. Wrong. Wrong. You don't just get to say and do whatever the fuck you want on this planet without consequences. You know? Consequences have actions, pimp. So, it's this simple. Play me in Street Fighter 6. Stop being a bitch. Stop making excuses. Stop demanding unreasonable money that no one's ever going to pay you because no one values you that much. Play me in fucking Street Fighter 6. Let's make it a rivalry. Let's make it one of the most epic Street Fighter 6 rivalries ever. Let's make it the big first rivalry ever. Let's do it. Evo weekend. Play me first to 10. We'll lay down some rules. We'll make sure that both parties agree and both of our fan bases and hater bases are on the same page. It'll be one of the most streamed events ever in Street Fighter 6. People will be super fucking hyped for it. Let's do it. Or shut the fuck up forever and sit there on your stupid stream, rage quitting the dashboard, blocking everyone, playing the same 5 players because you blocked everyone else on planet Earth, losing. There's a reason why you're 2-star fucking diamond after 2 months, because you lose all the time and you can't deal with loss. It's like I say to everyone, the only way to be a winner is to become a good loser, to learn from your losses. Now, that's a little hypocritical from me because I rage a lot when I lose, but I regroup, I come back, and here I am actively progressing and getting better and better at Street Fighter 6. For the first time in ages, I'm actually getting good at a fighting game again. You don't have that ability. You just sit there and you just make it all about yourself and your looks. Oh, I don't care if I lost. I'm crispy. Oh, you're real crispy, man. You're all about your sexy, but you suck at Street Fighter 6. So, either play me
or shut the fuck up and be a little bitch on your stream forever. It's that simple.
If you had kept your mouth shut and not sat there insulting me for no fucking reason, we wouldn't be here. But now, you either play me or you're my bitch forever. So what's it going to be? We'll see what he says. Let me get rid of this stupid fucking thing. And the truth is, I don't think he's going to accept. You want to know why? Because Viscant or Vizant made him his bitch, you know, years and years ago. Same situation. Dude talking out of his ass, not knowing what the fuck he's talking about. And, you know, Vizant had enough of it. He's challenged him. They went to a tournament and he beat his ass. And what happened? Oh, well, I never benefit anything from that, so I'll never do it again. It's like, well, then shut your mouth. If that's the case, if you realize that you didn't benefit anything from it, then keep your fucking mouth shut about other people. The thing is, he thinks he's punching down at me. Dude, you're not punching down. It's just that I never strike back. I let everyone talk shit about me, and I never, ever fight back. I like, I'll be the bigger man. In this case, you really pissed me off. Why? Because there was no reason for you to go off on me like you did. You're an asshole. So now you're going to pay for it, because you're either my bitch, or I'm going to beat you in Street Fighter 6. Either way, I win. So what's it going to be? You're going to be a man, or you're going to be the bitch of the internet forever. Let's see if you're man enough. All right. I'm done. That's it. That's literally the last thing I have to say about it. Again, if he accepts, I'd love it. I would love to have this grudge match. All right? And if he doesn't accept, well, oh well. There's nothing that can be done. We move on, and bitch boy moves on with his life, and, you know. But at least he'll be crispy bitch boy, right? Okay. Well, guys, I got it off my chest. It's now time for shout-outs, and then we'll actually get to Final Fantasy 16 today. All right. So, let's start with YouTube side contributions, shall we? So we start with Mango, who did a super chat, and he says, is this becoming drama content? Keep in mind, I didn't make the drama content. I'm not the one who on a 10-minute rant against him. I didn't rant against him at all. I was being honest and reasonable. I have a right to watch someone else's content and comment over it like anyone else. Everyone has the right to do it. It's legal. It's fine. I wasn't insulting the guy. Everyone agreed on that podcast that I was very reasonable. I wasn't insulting him or nothing. But he went on an unhinged rant because he's a fucking idiot. He just thinks he has free reign to do whatever he wants. He thought he was punching down and he could get away with it. Sorry, bitch. No, you can't just do that. Okay? That's not reality. So, it is what it is. Let's see here. Covenant Lazarus did a super chat and says, LTG is banned from EVO, that's why he's mad. See, I didn't even know that. I had no clue he's banned from EVO. I didn't know what he would have done to get banned from EVO or whatever, right? Whatever. The thing is, I have absolutely no desire to be in the competitive fighting game community. I've said this many times. I have no desire to be hanging in that community. I don't want to go to tournaments. You know, I'm happy to play the game online, get good at it, have fun, right? That's it. That's all I care about. Just having fun with my viewers and being able to maybe say, hey, I understand fighting games again. But I guess for him, it's a big thing. I don't know. Again, I don't know the guy. I don't want to talk out of turn here and be unlike him being unfair to me constantly because he doesn't even watch my shit and he's going to talk out of his ass about it. I don't know the real situation. I have no idea why he was even, why he was banned. So, Bloomkid did a super chat. He says, I mean this is someone who's a fan. Stop this while you're ahead. It won't end well. It'll backfire. Dude, it's either we play or we don't. If we don't, you know me. I'm not one to harp on shit. I'm not. I've laid down the challenge. The challenge is laid down. The time frame is laid down. Everyone wants to see it. Let's be honest. By the way, I forgot about this. Someone sent me this last night. I didn't ask for this. Someone fucking just sent me this last night and said, look how hype this would be. Use this. I totally forgot about this. Okay? Yeah. So people want to see this. They've wanted this for years. I mean, to give you an example here, all right? Seriously, to give you an example here, all right? Basically, years and years ago, there was one match. I was playing like Street Fighter 4, and it was a random match. I think it was like a new character release. I don't even know who, Relento or something. It was a new character release, and I didn't know how to use the character or anything yet. And I guess LTG, who I didn't even know who he was, I don't know about any prominent people in the fighting game community or anything, he played me randomly in a ranked match, and he beat me pretty resoundly because I didn't know what I was doing with this new character, so he beat my ass. And this video apparently has like 900,000 views or something like that on YouTube. People, oh, DSP versus LTG, and I never even knew about it. People told me about this years later. They were like, did you know you played LTG? I was like, who? LTG, who's now prominent because of the rivalry with Vizant and all of that. And I was like, no, I don't even know what you're talking about. You know, I don't even know who the guy is. You know what I'm saying? I shook my shoulders. People want it. People have wanted this for ages. So you give the people what they fucking want. No? Why wouldn't you? It's just a match of Street Fighter. It's not a big deal. I don't understand it. And by the way, that would end it too, because then once it happens, people can just stop talking about it forever, and we could all move on, right? There you go. Let's see. Brad actually says there's a video of you beating him in Street Fighter 4 ranked. That's in a Connecticut tournament playlist from 2010. Oh, see, I don't care. Sure, I would believe you. I know he beat me because I've seen that video, but I'm sure, who gives a shit? None of this matters. Anyway, Zway did a super chat, says this promo has given me shades of the King of Hate. Haha. Well, thumbs up, but you know, those days are past me. I used to be like this all the time in the fighting game community. It's exactly true. This is how it was in the fighting game community. People always talking shit about each other. I think LTG's stuck in that mode. He thinks that the internet is like the fighting game community. It's not. Like, he's just talking shit about me for no reason. Now you got to deal with the repercussions, okay? Okay. Let's see here. Mango did a super chat. He says, Phil, make You're My Bitch Forever a new chat emote. No. Lunchmeat did a super chat. He says, can we recrown you the King of Hate? No. Mango did a super chat. He says, please make You're My Bitch Forever the new chat emote. No. Mango Jewel Paws did another super chat. He says, please make You're My Bitch Forever the new chat emote. No. Tiak Yak did a super chat. He says, you handled this well. I don't think he's going to accept, but you put your nuts on the table. Very nice, Phil. I put my giant nuts on the table? Wow. I've never heard it quite phrased like that before, but okay. Mango did a super chat. He says, please make You My Bitch Forever your new chat emote. No. Covenant Lazarus did a super chat. Says, LTG has been begging for a Kick streaming contract for a month. That's neither here nor there. Peanut Butter Rent Free says, obvious clout chase, you started this. I started nothing. I commented calmly and rationally and had legit questions about his streaming setup. I said nothing insulting about the man whatsoever. Not about his complexion, not about anything. I was just curious questions. And he insulted me for 10 minutes straight as a result. He's the one who started this, not me. All he needed to do was say nothing or actually watch the clip in question and respond to it rationally. Apparently the man doesn't understand what rational thought is, and that's the problem. Again, Joey Rivera, sad attempt to bait someone. There's no bait. There's no bait here. Either he plays me or he doesn't. If he doesn't, I don't care. I move on with my life as always. I'm not even going to mention this again unless he brings it up again. If he literally doesn't want to do it and he wants to be a bitch forever, just don't mention it ever again. Never say my name again, and we're done. But if he brings it up, well, you know, I have the right to retaliate too and say stuff back. All right? And Covenant Lazarus did another super chat. And he says, well, he's talking about his real name and he's lying about his age. I don't care about any of that. I really don't care about any of that. That's neither here nor there. That has absolutely nothing to do with the situation. See, that's what actually is bullshit too. What's the situation? I did absolutely nothing to get his ire. He insulted me for 10 minutes. Now I struck back and challenged him to Street Fighter 6. That's the situation. Nothing personal. Nothing. We're not getting impersonal. We're not involving personal shit. You don't do that. That's when people overstep their bound. Oh, we're going to get involved with all this personal shit. No. That's stupid. Don't involve any personal shit. I don't want to hear about his fucking real name and exposing him for this and that. No, none of that shit. Bullshit. Shut up about that. Really, like that pisses me off because that shit that people have done to me over the years all the time, that doesn't need to happen. It's a bunch of bullshit. Just ignore it, okay? Ignore that nonsense. Let's not get involved with that personal shit. It's either it's him and me in Street Fighter or it's nothing and we just ignore it, okay? Good. Very good. All right. So that's the super chat side of things, but let's get the latest super chat on there. Is LTG being sent by other groups or individuals? I think, M-Lock, what you're meaning to say is he being, like, led astray or being fed bullshit? Yeah, I do believe he is. Or, it could be one of two things. Either he's completely unhinged, and the moment anyone even mentions his name, and he doesn't even know if it's positive or negative, he just explodes. Maybe that's the case. But, I'm fighting back because I'm not taking his shit. I'm nobody's bitch. All right? Or, it could be that he's being fed a line of bullshit. It could be that people are actually telling this guy that I'm insulting him constantly, and I'm not. I literally never bring up LTG. I randomly saw an hour of his gameplay. I have a right to at least talk cursory about it at a very, calm level. No insults, which I didn't insult the fucking guy. I was curious. I had genuine questions about it that I was trying to get answers about. People gave me some answers that made sense, right? So I don't understand where he comes from doing that, but I really do feel like perhaps he is being fed a lot of lies by his fans. And when I do that, because there's different kinds of fans. There's fans who are nice people, who are there to have a good time, and they have your good intentions at heart. Then there's fans who are there to feed you bullshit and create drama and inflammatory situations so they can sit back and laugh at the chaos they've created. And I feel like that's the situation that's happened here. That people fed him bullshit, so he's like, oh my God, DSP insulted me, I gotta go off on him. And then he goes off on me, and the next thing you know, it was unwarranted, and now the situation happens, right? That's what I'm thinking anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, but, I don't know. Again, I don't know this guy that well. What's funny is the restreamer did. Remember when we watched the clip yesterday? The restreamer pauses the video. He goes, so he's going to mention how old he is. He's going to mention he's white. He's going to mention he has bad facial hair. He's going to mention his hairline. He's going to mention this. He literally knew everything he was going to say. So apparently this is the normal shtick or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Izzy Jones 19 says, I wouldn't call LTG a boy. That's not cool. Who called him a boy? I don't remember calling him a boy. He's not a boy. He's a man. He deserves to be called a man. Synthetic Derangement says, the things people say about you isn't the same realm as what you said about LTG. No shit. All I'm saying about LTG is, sadly, he's all about his own personal shit, his own looks and shit. And that's sad. It is, that he thinks all of existence is about that. It's not. Especially when you're a gameplay streamer, no one cares about that, but he thinks that's what it is. That's really the one criticism I have for the guy. I don't know anything else about him, I think, is it lame that he's quitting to dashboard and blocking people? Of course it is, but I think, again, that's his shtick on Street Fighter 6. That's how people laugh at him, and that's why he gets 2,000 viewers on Twitch, because no one else is doing that, right? See, a lot of people are saying that he has a complex, that his complex is that for some reason he hates being called the Black DSP. Again, I never called him that. I don't understand the association. Outside of the fact that back in the day, we both used to rage like crazy at Street Fighter, right? That was part of my shtick, admittedly. Overreacting to Street Fighter, getting crazy, and constantly swearing, insulting the players and all of that constantly. Today, do I do that? Well, I criticize. And yes, I yell and scream, but then I cool down and, I go back to being normal. But that's the thing. I get so full of adrenaline when I'm playing Street Fighter that I get upset about shit, right? But purposefully, I'm not going to, say personal insults about the person. I'll say they suck. Yeah, you're a button masher. You're mashing jab. You beat everything. Random drive impact. You beat everything. That's one thing. That's criticizing the person's play, right? I used to be way worse than that, for sure. For sure, I used to be way worse than that, right? But I think what people are saying, like, for example, Bet the House is, he basically took over your role when you abandoned Street Fighter V. So for a whole generation in Street Fighter, I wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing that kind of commentary. I wasn't being that offensive guy playing Street Fighter, and he took over the role, so now people say that he's me. I guess that kind of makes sense, because now I don't, I'm not doing that, so I guess it makes sense, but at the same time, I think it's time to let go. He's not me, I'm not him, we're two different people. People should stop with that shit. In reality, the reason they probably do is because it bothers them. They're only doing it because they know it bothers him, so they're going to keep doing it as long as it keeps bothering him. If he would learn to not let it bother him, then they probably would stop doing it. Right? Synthetic Derangement says, if LTG accepts your challenge, it'll be highly beneficial for both of you. Just by LTG accepting the match, it would show growth of character. Well, that's your opinion. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so we'll leave it at this because we're about to end the show. I said my piece again. I'm done with this now. I would respond. Again, I would have personally responded to LTG privately, and none of this would have been made public, except that he blocked me. So the only way for me to respond to him was to do it publicly like this, so that's his fault. I would have just, like a gentleman, responded to him and said, please watch the content that people are telling you about, because it's not what you think, stop insulting me. Thanks. But instead, I had to do what I did today because, he blocked me and ran. So it is what it is. But that's where I'm leaving it. Again, if he truly wants nothing to do with this, he should just shut up and never mention it. Let it go. All right? And then I'll never mention him again. I don't care. All right? But if he brings it up again, then I have the right to respond again. You understand? So it depends if you really want to keep it going or not. Right? I think the culmination is a match during EVO. I think that would be amazing. That's my take on it. I think it would benefit everyone. The internet wants to see it. I'm being sent pictures like this. I'm pretty sure the internet wants to see it. It would benefit him. It would benefit me. Everyone would benefit. The viewers would benefit. Everyone would love it. But if he says no, if he realistically thinks someone's going to pay him $5,000 for everything, he's got a rude awakening coming. Literally, no one's ever paying him that for anything in his life. So he better just, wake up. And, you do it or you don't. But, if no, then just ignore it and that's the end of it. Done. But if he opens his mouth about it and talks shit, well, that's on him. He's the one who started it. So, okay. I received a $10 super chat from Tech Ack. He says, you know what's sad? The fact you won't admit you're very good looking. It's so obvious you've been working on your sexy until you threw your fake chain away. All right. Very nice. Working on the sexy. Always got to be working on the sexy. Wow. I want to end the show, but contributions keep coming in. I just got a $3 tip. What will you say if LTG outright refuses your challenge? I already said, if he's a bitch about it and doesn't want to do it, then he's a bitch forever. And that's it. That's the end of it. There's nothing else to say. He thinks he can just endlessly talk shit, and then there's no consequences for it. That's not the case. If you're going to talk shit, now fucking come and be a man and face me in a game that you think that you're good at, and let's see what happens. And if you lose, who cares? If you win, who cares? But be a man. But, I don't think he will. I really don't think he will. I think, like what you said, he'll talk more shit, even though I said, if you don't want to do it, just never say a word again, right? Just leave it alone. He'll probably talk shit tonight, and then he'll still back out and demand $5,000 that no one will ever give him because no one values him that much. He's nuts. Juja Jimmy, I would never, ever involve myself anything with Keemstar ever on this planet, period. Under no circumstance. All right, guys, we got to end the show. It's been, again, another long one. Let's end it now before it goes 2 hours again, right? And I'm hoping this will be the end of it. We get an acceptance of the match. That's great. We can start talking about it, hyping it, and planning for it. If he denies it and talks shit, I'm just going to ignore it because there's no point. He's being stupid. We'll find out what happens. But that's that.
Typically helps me more than anything.